Hey everybody, this is Belit, and it's been a while since I made a commentary. This was probably going to turn into more of a rant, but I wanted to talk about something that's kind of frustrated me for a while now, and it's the topic of spamming. I have grown weary of hearing this term thrown around so willy-nilly, and I thought, you know what, I've taken all I can stand, and I can't stand no more. So, I wanted to talk about it, but I think it's best if we define two things first: spamming and zoning. Spamming is doing something over and over again, typically in excess. Anything can be spammed, not even necessarily an attack. Any action can be spammed. That means walking can be spammed. I am actually this is actually true. I am a really big walk spammer. It's actually kind of ridiculous. We might need to have an intervention. It's getting out of control. It really is. Like, I walk all the time. Like, I walk to the kitchen and to the bathroom. I walk to the 7-Eleven to get ices. Well, I think they call them Slurpees, but they're ices. and then like, I walk around sometimes. I walk my dog. Like, it's getting pretty bad. I should probably see somebody, but let's go on. You can also spam blocks. You can spam good decisions. Any action that can be done repeatedly can be spammed. It doesn't even have to be an attack. Now, let's define zoning. Zoning is keeping your opponent in a specific area or zone. It can be a very specific area or zone, or it can be a broad area or zone, but it's a very clear goal. Zoning is typically a temporary thing unless there's some kind of character imbalance or player imbalance. And what I mean by player imbalance is a difference in experience, something that might be significant, like someone who's been playing the game for a year versus someone that's been playing the game for 5 minutes. That's a pretty big gap in experience. So, zoning can be a running theme of a match, but it normally isn't the match. Now, when someone is zoning, they typically use ranged attacks, but they can also use melee attacks if it serves the purpose. Now, I wanted to define these two things because there's a lot of confusion about what these two things are. A lot of times, people believe that others are spamming projectiles, and these people say, no, I'm zoning. Well, let's talk about what zoning encompasses. A lot of times, you do use ranged attacks to zone someone. Not a lot of characters have 10,000 different ranged attacks. A lot of times, they'll have a few, maybe 2 or 3. So if they're trying to keep an opponent in a certain area, and the attacks that they can use are limited to maybe 2 or 3 different attacks that are probably all situational, do you really think that they're just going to be cycling through all of those different attacks? Do you think it's smart for them to cycle through all of those attacks? Why would they use an attack that may not work for the situation that they're in? Seems kind of stupid to do so, right? Well, it is. If you have an attack that you're trying to use for a zoning purpose that fits the situation, you use it. Then once you use it, you assess what the situation is again from that point after you've used it. If the situation is the situation in which you would use that same attack again, you use that same attack again. Every zoning attack is an independent event that really has no bearing on what came before it. Each attack is independent of the last. Now you might say, no, Belit, no. You're trying to make it seem like those spammers know what they're doing. And I'm not going to accept that. Rushdown is the only play. That's the only legitimate play. If you don't rush down, you're not good. You don't know what you're doing, you suck. You don't deserve to win, ever. Ever. Storm 3 is the best game ever. And to that I say touche. Now, if you're going to keep to your notion that spamming is doing something 3 times, go right ahead. I'm not going to stop you. But I want you to consider something. If you're going to complain about one kind of spamming, then you should complain about everything. But if you start complaining about all kinds of spamming, then why are you even playing? Eventually, something's going to happen over and over again. Eventually, you're going to use the same combo over and over again. That's spamming. Start complaining. Eventually, you're going to use the same move over and over again, whether it's within 1,000 matches or what. You may take a broader term of spamming. Over the last 5 matches, I've used this attack, let's say 20 times. I'm such a spammer. It's ridiculous to complain about spamming, because to some degree, everyone is going to spam. But the thing is, it's not evil. It's not bad. It's not abusive. Get over it. If you can't understand that, then shut your mouth. It's not a difficult concept. Legitimate spamming is really not that hard to get around a lot of the time. Of course, there are some instances where there's a huge character imbalance, like I've said before. But the majority of the time, legitimate spamming is not hard to get around. And if you're complaining about it, then it tells a lot of people a little bit about you. It tells a lot of people that you're a quitter. It tells a lot of people that you look for excuses to justify why you're not doing well, instead of, trying to do better. Sure, sometimes there are legitimate complaints. Absolutely. But the overwhelming majority of the time, it's just you.